The segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still phone papa pair fee. Whatever gadget you're looking for, mobile phones, television sets, CCTV cameras, worry no more because we have got you covered. You can actually download the app on your phone to make things very easy. We know we are in a digital era, and so we say worry no more, just sit in the comfort of your home or your offices and purchase these gadgets. Now the app is Franco Trading app. You can go on there and purchase your items and trust us to deliver it to you at your doorstep. For further inquiries, you can visit our website, which is www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still phone papa pair fee. We are thankful to God for what He's done for us. Joe Metal gave us that song, and it says, "Thank you." Now, I can't get over that song. I've been playing it for the past, 1 month non-stop. Maybe there was a reason for it, and it now makes more sense. And so if you are thankful, you can actually get that song too and play it, because God has been so good to us. Now, when you join us, you also tell us what you are thankful for. So you join us when the Zoom link is activated. Make sure the room is well lit. Make sure you are well dressed, and kindly put your phone on silent, or put your sound on silent, or mute yourself until we pick you, and then you can put your sound on for us to have a wholesome conversation. We'll be talking about everything that has been happening this week. Now, before that, we will be delving into the EC versus NPP brouhaha. What am I talking about? Now, Ablekuma North is supposed to have a rerun of elections because 37 polling stations had issues. Now, the NDC said all 37 polling stations could go, it's fine. The NPP, however, said no, 34 are fine. But then we only realized that there are some discrepancies in only 3. And so let's hold the 3. But the EC came out yesterday to let us know that the elections will happen in 11 different polling stations. The NPP is not too happy and has threatened court actions. What do you also think about it? We'll be joined by Kwasi Kwarteng, who will be representing the NPP, and also will be speaking on behalf of Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, who hopes to become the next flag bearer of the NPP. He will tell us exactly what is happening in their camp. Now, before that, let me quickly read a few of the stories that are making the headlines. And today we are using My Joy Online portal. And so I'll take the first story. And the first story is telling us that new Supreme Court judges pledge fairness, acknowledge family support. All right, so new Supreme Court judges have been sworn in as it stands now, and they have actually said that they will be fair. Now, talking about fairness, let's not forget that we'll be talking about Agradaa, who has been jailed, evangelist Mama Pat, popularly known as Agradaa, who has been jailed for 15 years for defrauding her church members. And also she's been, deceitful to some of them and all of that. They went to court, filed against her in 2022. Yesterday, finally, judgment was passed and she's been given 15 years imprisonment. Do you think this is fair or is too much? Now, the judges that have been sworn in are also telling us that they will be fair in their judgments. Okay, let me see. Okay, there's this story as well saying that Student Loan Trust Fund begins second semester disbursement ahead of no fees stress launch. Now, we remember during campaign season last year, 2024, we heard that currently, the government that won the power, that's the NDC government, when they mounted the stage, they promised free first year loan, or you don't have to pay loan, or you don't have to pay fees. Let me put it like that. Now it looks like it's been disbursed right now, and so if you are in first year, or those of you who were in first year and they promised to give it to you, you are getting it now. So the disbursement has started. Now, the Student Loan Trust Fund has commenced the disbursement of second semester loans to tertiary students across the country. The Chief Executive Officer of the SLTF, Sajida Shiraj, announced that as of Tuesday, July 1st, loans have been successfully paid to 19,703 tertiary students, with priority given to students in private tertiary institutions whose academic calendar is further advanced than their counterpart in public institutions. The development comes ahead of the official launch of the No Fees Stress Initiative scheduled for July 4th, Friday. All right, so this is happening. So 19,703 students have so far received their money. So are you part of this 19,000? I'll be happy to hear from you. Join us on Zoom and let us know if you're part of the 19,000, okay? We know you're home, so you can join us. You're watching us. I mean, if you're in tertiary, you're old enough to join us on Zoom. So join us on Zoom and let us know if you're also enjoying it. Now, this particular conversation or this particular story was brought to you during Trends yesterday. Addo told us about it, which is UPSA students allegedly sent home for indecent dressing. Yesterday, there was a communique, an official communique from the management of UPSA, letting us know that, yes, there are rules and regulations, but they did condemn the act that happened, how the lady was dragged out of the place. They condemned it. They apologized, but they said they do have rules and regulations that once you are part of that school, you will have to go by it. And they also said that people have been through the system and they are successful because they make sure that they go by the rules and regulations. I have said it time and again, if you're going somewhere, make sure, they say if you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. So Addo brought you this conversation. Let me see if there are other ones. Okay, so fuel price adjustment. Diesel up at 13 Ghana cedis, 25 pesos per litre. Petrol is down though. Petrol is down. So for those of you who use petrol vehicles, I know you're excited about it, but for those of you who use diesel, your diesel has shot up a bit. Let me read a bit about it to you. Some oil marketing companies have started reviewing prices of petroleum products at the pumps with some mixed adjustments. Prices of petrol have reduced marginally, but prices of diesel have gone up. Goil is now selling a litre of petrol at 12 Ghana cedis 7 pesos from its old price of 12 Ghana cedis 38 pesos. Okay, so it looks like how many pesos is off? 31 pesos off. Wow. Anyway, maybe it's significant if you buy a lot though. And as quoted on June 9th, 2025, diesel is going for 13 Ghana cedis 20 pesos from the old price of 12 Ghana cedis 88 pesos. However, Shell has increased the price of a litre of petrol to 12 Ghana cedis 8 pesos from 11 Ghana cedis 98 pesos. So it's like, okay, so Goil used to be more expensive than Shell if you look at the OMC. So it's not like it's the OMCs that are doing this adjustment, because Goil used to be 12 Ghana cedis 38 pesos when Shell was selling at 11 Ghana cedis 98 pesos. Now Shell says it's 12 Ghana cedis 8 pesos and Goil is 12 Ghana cedis 7 pesos. Well, the decision lies with you. Wherever you want to buy your fuel from, that's up to you. Diesel has also been moved from 12 Ghana cedis 85 pesos, quoted on June 16, 2025, to 13 Ghana cedis 25 pesos per litre. All right, I'll try and get a few. Okay. This conversation is huge. So huge. So huge. All right, so most of you know of the whole FBI coming to Ghana in recent times, and we are like, hey, watch out. Some people have been making fun of the whole situation, saying East Legon is no more congested. Pardon me. East Legon is no more congested. We are not hearing too much, boom, boom in East Legon. The pressure is low. The boys are getting their girlfriends back because fraud activities are being limited now. Now, one main person that we got hint of that was arrested by the FBI, Dada Joe Remix, has been extradited to face charges in US over romance scam. Yes. Now we hear that he's not the only person that's been arrested as well. There are others that have been arrested, but also we are hearing this time that he has been extradited to the United States to face fraud charges. Now, in a Facebook post, the embassy revealed that its diplomatic security service special agents worked with Ghanaian authorities to assist the FBI in the operation. Mr. Kwarteng was indicted for allegedly running a fraud ring that used romance and inheritance schemes to defraud American victims of several millions of dollars. Wow. Well, as it stands now, we don't know what the future holds for, he's got Dada Boats, yes, popularly known as Dada Boat Remix. Hey, amazing. Well, I've spoken a bit about it. Let me talk about Agradaa a little bit because it will be our topic for this morning, one of our topics for this morning. Okay, now yesterday we heard that Agradaa had gone to court and was awaiting sentencing. Now, as this was happening, she was taken in to be tested for pregnancy. Now, this is because her lawyer did say that she could be pregnant, but the judge wanted a second opinion to it, and so she was taken to the police hospital to conduct a pregnancy test, and it came out that she wasn't pregnant. Now, out of this, unfortunately, your favorite woman, pastor, evangelist, and she says she's even a doctor, has been sentenced to 15 years. Yes. Now, when she was taken in, one thing we heard her say when she was asked by the journalist, what does she have to tell people? She said, "Empire Bonwa." Now, Patricia Asiama, popularly known as Nana Agradaa, a former traditional priestess turned evangelist, has been sentenced to 15 years imprisonment by Circuit Court in Accra. The sentence follows her conviction for charlatanic advertisement and obtaining money by false pretenses. Nana Agradaa was found guilty of deceiving victims during a televised broadcast in 2022, where she falsely claimed to have spiritual powers capable of doubling money. Many individuals were persuaded to be part of large sums, hoping for miraculous financial returns that never came. The court's decision is seen as a major victory in the fight against fraudulent spiritual schemes and dishonest religious practices. Prior to sentencing, the court ordered a mandatory pregnancy test which confirmed she was not pregnant, allowing the sentencing to proceed without delay. The verdict has generated widespread public reaction, with many praising the ruling as a strong stand for justice and a clear warning for those involved in similar scams. Now, it looks like the law will come for you if you are involved in similar scams. And so, at this point, I'll say that if you are a pastor, you are a juju man, you are a malam, it looks like you have to stay true to your cause, because the law will come for you if any of your followers goes to court and say you have actually defrauded them. That you can't escape, because we are seeing a clear example of it happening now. It wasn't happening in the past, but now it's happening. So watch out, dear pastors, dear traditionalists, and dear malams. Watch out. Please be careful with people, else you might face even more sentencing. Now, earlier I did mention to you that we'll have Kwasi Kwarteng join us this morning for us to speak about what's happening in the NPP and also what is happening in the camp of Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, who is hoping to become the next flag bearer of the NPP. Good morning, Kwasi.
Yeah, good morning, Rosalie.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too? I'm
fine, thank you. I know we woke you up earlier.
Yes. When I was coming, I had to be buttoning my shirt, so I was on the way.
I can't imagine. Yeah. Where do you live? Around area?
Around Spintex. But last night I traveled. I was in Tamale. And I got here quite late. And even the previous night, I had very few hours of sleep. So I had accumulated sleep that I needed to mitigate. But I had to be here, so that's fine.
Thank you for making time for us this morning. And of course, we're going to have a wholesome conversation. So it's good that you're here. Yeah. We're happy. And how is Honorable Kennedy Agyapong doing?
Yeah, he's fine. He's doing so well. I mean, politics is not just about engagement and visibility. So you just have to make yourself available to the people that have the mandate and the sovereignty to make a decision as to whether they will give you the nod. And so across all the 16 regions, he's still engaging relevant parties. But for us, our focus is really on the grounds. The over 200,000 polling station executives, those are our focus, 208,000 polling station executives, because, I mean, even if we want to cascade it to the national level, just like what the Constitution says, sovereignty resides in the people. And we are also of the view that that is where the power is. Of course, you may have the few elites and the bourgeoisie, the big guys who also have influence on the base. But for us, our focus is with them, so we are engaging them so high.
We'll talk more about that, but let's talk about the party itself, the NPP party. You seem not to be happy with the EC's decision, and the NPP is threatening a court action if the rerun of Ablekuma North election is not halted.
Well, let me issue this. Let me make this point first. Yesterday, like I indicated, I was in Tamale for a different exercise. I really did not have the opportunity to follow the party's position. But I mean, even as a lawyer, what my understanding is that when it comes to such decisions or coming to such decisions or conclusions as to whether or not the EC has a power or authority or legal authority to make a final determination on rerunning an election, I am of the view that is the prerogative of the court based on the constitutional provision and also the CIs and all the laws that regulates our general elections. I do not think that when it comes to parliamentary elections, is the EC, so to speak, has the power to make such determination. Obviously, such pronouncement has to be made by a court. So, even though I am here to read or look at the position of the NPP properly, so-called, I've not had time to do it. Even just on the face value, I do not think the EC has the legal authority to make such determination. Such determination ought to be made by a court, mostly through when a petition has been filed by any of the interested parties. And then the court makes a decision, then the EC would then have or will be clothed with the mandate to then implement the decision of the courts. But of course, like I indicated, I will have to review what they've said and then we take it from there.
But looking at what happened, you know, if you say it's a court that's supposed to make the decision, now you understand the law better, and so there are people out there who will be wondering why you're saying this, because EC had to tabulate it and get a result out. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, my voice is experiencing a break a bit.
We are all tired.
I know. So the EC had to tabulate and give it to Ghanaians. Unfortunately, certain polling stations, they couldn't get the presiding officers to have their signatures put on the pink sheet. And so they said, we need to have a rerun. Now, must this also go to court before there's a rerun?
I mean, it's a parliamentary election, and there is a legal framework that regulates the parliamentary election, and everything has to be done within that framework. EC, after EC makes, for instance, after they are being guided by the CI, the rest of the decisions that they have to do mostly is administrative decisions. I do not think this falls under administrative decisions. This one is a pure legal question as to whether the EC has a capacity and the legal authority to annul elections in certain polling stations after voting has been done. For me, that is a fundamental question. And with hindsight, I disagree with the view that the EC has the powers to make that decision.
Did they annul, or they couldn't even count at all? So someone would say that it wasn't even run in the first place because we don't even have figures, because the pink sheet as it stands didn't have any signature from a presiding officer, from what they say, for the 19 polling stations.
But there was an election, right?
Yes.
And there was no declaration.
No, there was no declaration.
And they don't have results according to the EC.
Yes,
so what pink sheets are they talking about?
Because the pink sheets that they have, the presiding officers, the 19 places that have to have a rerun, the presiding officers did not have their signatures on there, on the pink sheets. I
mean, bottom line is that the election is a process, not an event, and it includes the results of the election should take into account the results from all polling stations. So aspects of the election is compromise. And I'm also opening up for proper education. Like I said, I've not really had a lot of time to read more into it or have other opinion into it. But the point is that I I'll be surprised if the EC is clothed with the powers, because this is not an administrative decision. This has to do with votes that were casted. And some way, somehow, the votes has not been able to be counted. So it is not as though there were no votes. There were votes. People's rights has been exercised. And I find it very surprising that the EC can say that, well, there were votes that were casted, but due to some compromising situation, we believe a rerun should happen. I disagree that the EC have such powers. Maybe we may have to have a thorough discussion within the provisions of the law and then look at what the law actually states when it comes to that regard. I'm sure as we have the interview, I'll also make those searches, and so that at least we'll be able to situate it within a proper context of the law and have an authority for it. But with hindsight, I do not think, I don't know the NPP's position yet. I've not read. Like I said yesterday, I was so terribly busy.
Now, the NPP did say that the 37 polling stations, they could have a rerun of it.
They are for rerun?
If for the 37 polling stations.
Okay, but maybe I am coming from the legal perspective that in terms of, I don't dispute there should be a rerun.
The NPP says that the rerun shouldn't happen for 19, but rather 3.
Should be rather 3. Okay. I'm even coming from a position where I believe that in terms of going for a rerun, that decision ought to be made by a different body, but not the Electoral Commission. So it's a different argument altogether.
Okay. Now, if the NPP should go to court, the rerun is supposed to happen on July 11th. So yes. As it stands now, when will the NPP, or you haven't had a conversation, I don't know if I can ask you this question, when will the NPP go and file?
No, I'll need full briefing.
You need full briefing
exactly.
On it before that's why I said with this question, if I ask, you need full briefing of it. Okay. So because you don't have all the information
as at now,
let's go into Honorable Kennedy Agyapong's campaign.
That's fine.
Now, you are the official spokesperson.
Yes.
Okay. I'll ask you this before I even go into anything else. As it stands now, there's been a few issues between himself and Ablekuma. How is it going?
Chairman Ablekuma?
Yes.
Is there any issue? I think it's a Ablekuma rather who has elected to run a smearing campaign on the personality of the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. And consistently he's ignored him. What is going on, I'm sure within the minds of right-thinking members, objectively everybody knows that it is unacceptable and very inappropriate. But look, I mean, that is where the party has got into. It's got into a level where even regional chairman of the party can just get up and run attacks and insults on high-profile and high-ranking members of the party, especially when those attacks are even unprovoked. I think there are structures of the party. There is a disciplinary committee, there is a national executive officers, there is a national council. There are a lot of structures of the party. We leave it to their judgments. I'm not sure we want to comment on that. If they believe that what is going on is nice, fair. But you see, there comes a time where you take an action, people advise you, take a step, people advise you. If you are bent and you are determined to move in a certain direction, even there are sometimes that even God can step aside and second your motion. The results, you will have to battle with it. And a classical case is what is happening. First it was Kennedy Agyapong, and nobody spoke about it. Maybe because it was Ken. People felt Ken could defend himself as he's always been. And nobody really condemned him. Then he proceeded and cascaded to recently Archbishop Duncan Williams. And that is where I noticed that the party had issued a statement dissociating themselves from it. I think it should have gone beyond dissociation. And if there was really proper structure and the demonstration of leadership should have moved beyond just dissociating yourself. He was invited before the disciplinary committee. He wrote a response that he was not going to appear before any kangaroo committee. We don't have the powers to make a decision for the National Executive Officers or the Disciplinary Committee. So we leave it to the jury out there to judge what is going on. But, I mean, it's a phase. I'm sure we shall overcome. As for Mr. Bawumia, we can only wish him the best and leave him to his conscience. He's an adult. So if he thinks what he's doing is right, we leave it to him.
Do you trust the current leadership of the party to take you to victory in 2028? What
kind of tricky question is that? This is the first time I asked a question and I have to reflect on it on TV. Do you trust the current leadership of the party to take you into victory 2028? I have confidence that if we put in good structures and do things effectively and do things in the right manner, we'll win 2028. The point is that change is not a change until you change. And there is no way you achieve different results when you do not do things differently. If you keep doing things the same way, you obviously get the same outcomes. And so I am hopeful and I am confident that if we do things differently, if we rebuild well, if we re-strategize effectively, I'm sure the outcome will be different. And so it's all about demonstration of leadership. I don't think I do not have confidence in them. What I can say is that we will only support the current leadership to be able to make the right decisions for the party so that at the end of the day, 2028, we can come back to power. Yeah, so we will give our necessary support to them.
Okay, now talking about that, is your candidate okay with the proposed date for elections for the flag bearer race? That's the end of January 2026.
This is our position. We were of the view that, especially taking into account the worst and most embarrassing and humiliating defeat that the party witnessed during the 2024 general elections, we were of the view that we should have put in proper structures to rebuild the party. And rebuilding the party essentially means that we have to rebuild from the base. We are of the view that the most effective way of rebuilding the party is to build it from the base, starting with polling stations, elections, then going into electoral area elections, constituency elections, and of course regional, that to national, and also to that of the flag bearership. That is what we believe that should have been the ideal situation. But I mean, as at now, National Council had made a contrary decision. They are of the view that we have to build from the top. Ideally, and I mean, this is even a common sense approach. Nobody will subscribe to the view that when you are building a structure, you build from the roof. Ordinarily, we would have expected that you build from the bottom. But they also explain that they believe that when a party gets a flag bearer, all the challenges and the problems within the party will be solved, which we disagree. When there are problems in the party, you solve the problems. Electing a flag bearer alone will not be a panacea to addressing the problems in the party. But whichever way, if that becomes a decision of the National Council, which in any way, if it's affirmed also by the annual delegates conference, which is scheduled on the 19th of January, we are very okay. We are more than prepared. We believe that whether they vote from top to down, whether down to top, whether middle, cross-sectional,
okay with that?
Yeah, the people will decide. Sovereignty resides with them. The current status of the party is unattractive. And I'm sure the over 200,000 polling station executives are aware of that. And they are mindful of their responsibility to cause a change and put the party on track and get the party back to its own the old glory that the party enjoyed. So even though we had felt that the effective way should have been from bottom to top, whichever way, if we even vote today, we are so confident that Ken will get the nod. Of course, there has been theories about top to bottom just designed to favor one candidate, because the idea is that if in the last election 61% voted for candidate A or candidate B, then likely that even if he dips, he'll come around 54 or something. So let's still maintain the album. That theory is flawed and completely untrue. Because these are the same polling station executives who complained that they were not taken care of when the party were in power for the past 8 years. So assuming we are to go by the philosophy or the logic that, well, because they gave us 61%, they are still going to give us another nod. It's also debatable, especially when during the last election, it appeared almost all MPs, members of parliament, were shaped to align with one candidate. All over 6,000 MPs were shaped to align with one candidate, if you recall. All MMDC, 276 MMDC were shaped to align with one candidate. That's the first time we witnessed that in the history of our party. And the whole establishment, government establishment and government machinery was also supporting one candidate. At that time, we had 61%. So now that we have a level playing ground, the sailor of the ship himself.
Is it a level playing ground as of now?
In terms of having the government support and the full establishment support is no longer there.
Okay.
And the context is this. President Akufo-Addo, who was the sailor of the ship, the captain of the ship, today has just abandoned the ship.
Was it the main machinery behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia during the last election?
At least the arrowhead. But as of now, he's also abandoned the ship. So it makes the direction of the ship a bit, or the sailing a bit shaky. Recall Dr. Agyapong, for instance, was also very integral in Dr. Bawumia's campaign, to the extent that he even wanted to be the vice president. He was apparently tipped as part of one of the few guys who were also tipped to be his vice. One of his financiers today also doesn't believe in his agenda. My own former boss, who I so much respect.
He doesn't believe in his agenda, but he has decided to also run because he feels he's competent to become the flag bearer of the NPP.
Rosalie, I am supporting you just last year to be the president of Ghana. And today, we went into our election. Today, I decide now to contest you. What does it mean?
Maybe you had dreams and aspirations to also become the flag bearer.
No, but the most logical point that is very proximal to addressing or analyzing a situation like this is that most likely I no longer believe in your capability to even lead. Is that because I work with you, I supported you, I campaigned for you?
Why did you support me? Probably you supported me because you believed in it, and maybe we share the same ideology, and you feel that, okay, I can also do it. So we share the same ideology. Let me go and contest on my own and see if I can become the flag bearer.
What change? If we share the same ideology, what change?
He wants power too.
He wants, well, I leave it to the jury. but the principle is that even out there, it doesn't give you a good impression about you. Generally, even not to talk of Bawumia. For instance, I also campaign. Look at Mr. Agyapong, for instance. He was literally the campaign strategist in Dr. Bawumia's campaign. What happened? Today, he's also nursing his own ambitions too. You see, in politics, it doesn't mostly happen. Yes, there are precedents to that, but to support a candidate and just less than 2 years or a year, you make a U-turn to contest him. It speaks volumes. Okay, Mr. Akufo-Addo, can you also explain why that he no longer believes in the agenda?
He doesn't? I don't know about
He doesn't support the vice president's bid.
Really? That's the former president?
Yes, he doesn't support him again. But I mean, the energy and the...
Did he voice it out? Did he say it? How do you know?
Oh, they are objective realities. They are objective realities that if you see this, you do not need anybody to tell you that it is black. They are objective realities that the average reasonable person on the street can be able to decide. And of course, we are politically exposed people. We are in the party. We have meetings. We have conversations. You don't need a big man like him to come and stand on the podium and say that I no longer support you. It's mostly based on conduct.
But do you know the reason why he doesn't support you?
No, I do not. I mean, bottom line is that today, the main actors in that ship, President Akufo-Addo, Dr. Agyapong, my former boss, Dr. Addo. Remember, Dr. Addo also even wanted to be his vice. So the extent that he was stable, he and Napo, where they were very, very close. Today also is no longer supporting the cause, not to even talk of our own gentleman, Honorable Patrick Bama. Remember, he was also waiting.
So it's quite interesting that these names that you are mentioning, we're also hearing that they actually want to also be on the ballot sheet. They want to be the flag bearer of the NPP.
Exactly, and that raises a fundamental question of why. Why? Because if you were supporting one particular candidate, and all of us, you see, if it was an isolated case of, say, only one person, then you can say that, oh, it is because maybe they fell out, or he has ambitions, or he no longer wants to, maybe he no longer believes in his agenda or something. But this is about 5, 6 of them. It can't be a coincidence. There should be something wrong somewhere. And it presupposes that they do no longer believe in the candidature of Dr. Bawumia. And of course, the common reason or the common denominator could be just one reason. I mean, political party, no matter how good your vision is, how whatever the initiative that you want to bring on board, bottom line is that you need to win power. And in winning power, candidates also count, where you need a candidate who is winnable, who is marketable, who is sellable, and a candidate that when you sell, the public will yearn to purchase him and endorse him.
And believe that your candidate, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, is sellable, marketable, and people will accept him.
I'll give you a simple challenge.
Okay.
From today till next week, with your producer, just tag them, and your camera crew, your team, just tag them randomly to go on the street and interview reasonable men on the street. That who do they think should be our next president after President Mahama? And I tell you, if we give them 3 names, even 10 names, Kennedy Agyapong's name will come out so strongly, will stand out. Why? Because beyond the politics, beyond the NPP and DC politics, people believe that he's honest, he is bold, he is courageous, he is fearless, he is disciplined, he's able to criticize his own party, he's able to make very tough decisions, his entrepreneurship background, and individually what he's been able to achieve as a person. These are all character traits and attributes that if we make him the president of our country, he's going to demonstrate a very good sense of leadership and move our country forward.
Talking about character, I like that you went to that route. Now let's go into...
I know where you are coming.
Yes, I know. I know you know where I'm going. Anyway, now there are people who are also of the opinion that your candidate is rude. He's been on several media platforms using certain words that if you want to lead a country, you shouldn't. You should have some sort of decorum. You should have emotional intelligence. Some people feel that he lacks that.
Well, Rosalind, I will not sit on your platform and paint Kennedy Agyapong as a saint. Kennedy Agyapong is a human being. He has his strengths and he also has his shortcomings, just like you and I. Even as I sit here, by the time I finish this interview, if you want to get behavioral professors to analyze how this interview went, they will just draw a line and write strengths, shortcomings, or weaknesses. It's a character trait that we all have. I've also heard that other candidates are weak. They are unable to make critical decisions. They are timid. But you will construe that to be humble. Is that not the case?
Not me. Maybe people will.
People may construe timidity and indecisiveness to be humility, right? But in the case of Kennedy Agyapong, in our jurisdiction where we have a template of what the presidential or who a presidential material should be, we tend to overly emphasize on things that we believe, character traits that we believe they are shortcomings, instead of seeing them in an optimistic view. So, for instance, you say Kennedy is too temperamental. No, Kennedy is overly passionate. Somebody who wants to see the work to be done, so that if you do not do the work, he'll be so passionate to criticize you. They say, oh, Kennedy uses vulgar words. Yes, I mean, some of them you agree that you would have expected that maybe he would have toned down. But for instance, let me give you one clear example. It was Gabi Asaro-Chedakon, Nanaya Osafo-Mafo, and I think some few big guys. They had a meeting, and it was a closed-door meeting, and of course addressing party people. And subsequently, this meeting was recorded, given to Accra FM, a pro-NDC station, to play. In that context, he described them that only fools who do this, that party people or family members you've met to make critical decisions for yourself, and one of your resources and go and give to a pro-NDC station. And that nearly brought a rift between the Ashantis and the Achems. When he gives that description, that only fools who do that, and calls his party people, if you do not situate it in that very rightful context, you may think that, oh, Kennedy just goes about insulting people. But objectively, how will you describe the one who did that? That we had a very confidential meeting, you record it, go and give it to Accra FM, which almost resulted in a tribal tribal rift between the Ashantis and the Agyapong. Wasn't necessary, or just to tarnish the party. So each of them, we may have to look at it case by case. And again, most of the problems that Kennedy has gotten himself to largely was occasioned by his strong voice in defending the NPP. Look at Anas, for example. I mean, Anas has not run any investigation about Kennedy before. People overly concentrate on what they believe may be the shortcomings. But somebody has been in politics since '92 up till now. There has not been a single case or even allegation of corruption against him. People are not focusing on that. That this is the guy who indeed can fight corruption. This guy has been building wealth and building businesses. Not true, Galamsey. Nobody is focusing on that. We just focus that, oh, he's too temperamental. No, he's not too temperamental. He's bold, he's fearless. He can look into your face and tell you that, well, this is wrong. And what you did, I do not like it. So let nobody couch us into silence and define a presidential candidate for us. After all, even Trump is a president in the U.S. That is...
I compare your candidate to Trump now.
No. You see that, I mean, the context again is very important. Not to suggest that when you want to become a president, you do not have to conform to certain expectation by you. But I'm saying that if it has to do with character trace analysis, then properly so-called, nobody will even be qualified to become a president of the country. You see, when you want the president, it's not really about somebody who is spotless. No. Every president, one or two ways, in terms of even the character trace analysis of voter behavior, may have spots. We are not talking about somebody who is spotless. But the argument is that if you put him comparatively to other people, in terms of character traits, in terms of his conduct, in terms of what he stands for, you will realize that there are certain character traits that is prominent. Bold, honesty, courageous, fearless, and for me, these are the character traits that defines a true leader. If you tell me that you are humble and you have extremely rich ideas, and I mean, every his ideas, we can even get them on ChatGPT.
Now, talking about that, let me ask you if you know about Africa Policy Lens. Have you heard of them before?
What is that?
So it's a research, group. It's called Africa Policy Lens, and this is what they say.
They said that
70.6% of NPP are aligned with Dr. Bawumia when they did their research as the next flag bearer, compared to 21.4% who favored Kennedy Agyapong.
Let me tell you something. You are in the media. You have been in the media for quite some time now. When was the first time you heard about these African policies? Something? People who do a research, they don't even put their methodology out. They don't put the research outcome out. The only thing is that they go and pay a media house and make a certain report to create an impression that they are in a good lead. And I can understand them. I gave a background. Nana Akufo-Addo is no longer there, right?
So where is he now?
Who
is he supporting, Nana Akufo-Addo?
I don't want to speculate, but I can tell you who he's not supporting, which is Dr. Bawumia.
Is he supporting Kennedy Agyapong, though?
No, I can tell you who he's not supporting.
Fine, but I just want to know, is he supporting Honorable Kennedy Agyapong?
We'll speak to that later. I do not have it's beyond my pay skill to make that confirmation.
Okay.
It's beyond my pay skill, at least for now. But I was laying a foundation that if you are in a camp where the sailor of the ship as the captain of the ship has jettisoned the ship. The other crew members, Brian Agyapong, Dr. Duchum, Patrick Bawumia, Kwabena, Agyapong, they've all abandoned the ship and the ship is sinking. And the passengers in the ship are yelling and crying. You obviously create an impression that the ship is not sinking. So they should take some water, chill, and maintain their composure and cool. That is what is happening. Remember, that's not the only thing they did. They first created an impression that they had some 66 MPs, which objectively, you and me, we count them. They were just 26.
I didn't
Then I want to. I have the names here. I can mention them for you. They were 26.
Mention it.
Oh, I have it if you want me to.
Please mention.
Okay, just a moment. That's everyone. Oh, me too. Me too.
So it's only 26 members of parliament that support Dr. Mahmoud. From what you're saying.
No, even out of the 26 who visited him, record that later on, OPK had confirmed that 12 of them even moved to go and have lunch with Brian right after that meeting. so
give me the names. Do you have the names of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
The names are Mr. Samir Oku, Prachum, Habib, Anta, Tampuri, Potozwatu was there, Buffalo, Asafoje, Edu, Kodia, Furiata, Kojo Ponko, 19 Fojo, Bafo, Yusuf Kabiru, Nina, Rudolph, Martina Jacobs, Ernest Kumi, Isaac Bawumia, former Deputy Defense Minister, former Defense Minister, Damata too was there, Ida, and Obuase. As I said, subsequently, two joined, Asenso and Abu. If you look at Abu's poster, he was even running away from the camera. But the point is that
So how did you get this list?
But you also the video, the evidence they brought.
So when you were watching the video, you were writing the names.
Yes, that was the evidence that they brought.
Okay.
They painted a picture that they have the endorsement of Parliament. Remember, these were guys who, in the last election, previous election, literally had almost the full complement of Parliament supporting them, and that was designed to favor them. Because ordinarily, power structures would have had polling station, electoral area, then from electoral area, we would have then moved to regional and regional to constituency, and they have regional to national, then they have the parliamentary elections. But this time around, in the last election, they wanted to put the parliamentarians in a state of uncertainty so that you will not even have the courage to go and support a candidate that the establishment doesn't support. Well, assuming they had voted and the parliamentarians had known their fate, obviously they were going to then decide freely who they were going to support, because at that time there was nothing at stake. They are already pieces, and obviously nobody was going to intimidate them. But from how the political design was constructed, they intentionally left the parliamentary elections, went to have the presidential, so that they will be in a state of uncertainty, so that they can all toe one line. So literally, in the last election, out of the 137 MPs, you realize that about 130 of them obviously toed one line. Interesting. A camp that enjoyed over 130 MP support, a camp that enjoyed all the over 6,000 appointee support, because whether you like it or not, you have to maintain your appointment. A camp that enjoyed over 276 MMDC support, and all structures of our executives enjoy their support. Now it's struggling to give an impression that they have 67 MPs. When you even that 67, the Miracle said it's 67, right? The former spokesperson of Dada Bawumia himself also said it's 60, if you recall. I was surprised whether indeed he counted 60. Maybe he was misbriefed. Then moving beyond that, in Team Fojo, when I had an interview with him on Asempa, he said he counted 30. But somebody also told me there could be around 45. Look at even the discrepancy in the numbers. But I'm telling you, I'm suggesting to you that they were just 26. Later on, when they were finishing, two, Asenso and Abu also entered, making it 28. So what is the point that I'm making? The point I'm making is that there has been a very intentional effort to create an impression that the ship is not sinking. Remember that of the MMDCs. I had a meeting with about 250 MMDCs. They couldn't make a declaration in front of your cameras. When they had closed and all of them had left, they mobilized 12 of them to make an endorsement statement that they endorsed one candidate. What happened? Quickly, some of them quickly also mobilized themselves and said that, no, it's not true. We've not endorsed any candidate. So I am not surprised. The history is there. The impression to create a positive outlook. But as I speak with you, take it from me that campaign Addo Atonso. All
right, I'll talk to you about that very soon. I'll come into the campaign Atonso, but you at home can join us via Zoom. And the Zoom link is on the screen right now. If you're watching, you can join us on Zoom and also share your opinion with us. But before that, we'll talk about what you're grateful for, because it's the National Thanksgiving Day. It was supposed to be today. It was supposed to be Tuesday, but the holiday is today. So we get the opportunity to express our thanks to God on Zoom. And then you talk about what we are discussing. You join the conversation. Let's do this together. It's quite interesting. Kwasi Kwarteng is telling us why Kennedy Agyapong, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, is a right choice to be the flag bearer of the NPP. Now, some people are saying that it looks like your camp is quite scared of Dr. Bawumia's camp, because we have heard the likes of Dr. Agyapong also showing interest in the flag bearership race. But you don't even talk about him at all. Is he not a competitor? Won't he give Honorable Kennedy Agyapong a run for his money?
Oh, Dr. Agyapong?
Yes.
To be very honest, I think he started on a good note, and he's doing so well. His recruitment and mobilization skills is showing. For us, it's good for us, because obviously, if you look at it critically, he's just dividing Dr. Bawumia's team. And I mean, check his recruitment background. Almost everybody that has joined his camp, people that most likely in the previous election aligned with Dr. Bawumia. I think he will make a good statement in the election, but for now, clearly, if you ask me, it's a two-horse race. Maybe also it's because of
two-horse race between
Ken and Dr. Bawumia.
Okay.
Maybe also because they went in for the previous election, so they have some form of added advantage in terms of the background that they are coming from. I mean, they've gone into the flag bearership election before, so obviously they have their supporters divided along them, where Dr. Bawumia has his, Ken also has his. So largely gives them some upper hand in the contest. Dr. Brian is making a very good inroads, if you ask me. And for us, we are excited about how it's going, because it looks like it's the Dr. Bawumia camp that he's still causing so much division and mobilizing a lot of Dr. Bawumia support in this camp. But I mean, truth be told, it's still going to be a two-horse race, even though he will make a good impression. We respect his courage. We respect the fact that he also want to contest. But I mean, if you look at, for instance, Dr. Brian, for instance, it looks like he has a very popular appeal in the big places, the big towns, the big cities. But I think maybe he needs more time to also campaign at the base. Also because Ken and Dr. Bawumia had already done the nationwide tour in the last elections, which Dr. Brian is here to do. So as of now, if the whistle is to blow, I think it will be between Dr. Bawumia and Ken to still lead. But we can wish him the best.
You wish him the best. Now, we want to take a look at the party's machinery.
Yes.
Yeah, you did mention that. Look at the humiliating defeat that the NPP had in 2024 elections. The election that you're about to have, you're going top before you go bottom, right? Now, just in case, your flag bearer becomes the flag bearer of...
My candidate.
Your candidate becomes the flag bearer of the party. And then the party decides to keep the same leadership. Will you win 2028 elections?
You found a very nice way of bringing this question back. But look, this is what it is. The top to bottom approach has a very major correlation with even the executive structure and setup going forward. Why do I say that? When you do the top to bottom approach and you elect the flag bearer first, what essentially means is that you are giving him so much authority and power. If you do not get somebody who has the interest of the party at hand, and the usual politician who is so much interested in having so much control and power, what is going to happen is that he's then going to pinpoint and decide who becomes the national executives, so that it trickles down to the polling station level. And that for me is a recipe for chaos. That's why Ken also even mentioned that when that happens, you are going to breed monsters in the party, because you give so much power to just one person. So at that point, for instance, assuming Dr. Bawumia has won, or Ken has won, he then decided that we're looking to Kodia's face. Kodia, the last election, I suspected he didn't support me, so I am not going to support you. I don't want you to be in the executive structure. Go and vote against. And people will be aligned. People will be shaped in line, which for me is a recipe for chaos. There's a more reason why we're advocating for the down to the bottom to the top approach. So with your question, I will answer with this note that the dynamics is quite different and unpredictable, especially with this approach that the National Council has proposed, where we are going to have a top to bottom, because it depends on the leader that comes in. And if the leader wants to be so much excessively political, or if he wants to say that, well, look, in the interest of the party, despite the fact that I feel that maybe things did not go well, or I felt that effective mobilization should have started from the base, let's do it from the base. Let's do it well. Let's allow free and fair elections, and I'm not going to have excess so much control. It's not really about me. So I think more rests on the leader, the kind of flag bearer that will come into power.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll be wrapping up the conversation soon. Dear Zoomers, give me 2 minutes. I come to you. I want to ask my final question, and then I come to you for you to also have the opinion to join, your opinion on air. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so Kwasi, do you know of Prophet Bernard L. Bernard?
Yes.
Is he a friend to your candidate?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Do they know each other?
Yes, they know each other. I don't know the extent of the relationship that they have, but what I know is that during Prophet Bernard's birthday, we called him, the team, and asked Honorable Ken to wish him a birthday. But beyond that, I don't think they have a relationship as friends, but they know each other. Certainly, just like you may not have met Ken or anybody, but you know that this is Ken. And El Bernard is also profound. Certainly, if somebody speaks about the outcome of your election or prophesies about it, in a good way, you will take interest in knowing the person.
If it was a bad way?
Yes, there have been some of the prophecies that was not necessarily in our favor.
But that's not from him.
Yeah, that's not from him. But if you take 100 prophecies, about 99 is confirming that he will be the next flag bearer.
So do you believe that Prophet El Bernard's prophecy will come to pass?
I am a Christian. The Bible says, I believe in my words, believe in my prophets. So far as I'm a Christian, I believe in the prophetic. I am so much confident. There are precedents to it. I'm a seasonal member of his church.
Okay.
Even though I'm not constant, I visit his church sometimes. I have witnessed some of the prophecies that he's giving, and it's come to pass. Let me give you one instance.
Okay.
I recall whether 2017 or 2018. I went to his church. At that time, he was at the National Theatre, and a lady came in. Apparently, the lady was stepping out even before the service came to an end, and he called the lady and prophesied to the lady. Initially, the lady was a bit unreceptive and unresponsive, but I think he went a bit deeper, and it became apparent that the lady was Laurent Babu's daughter through the prophecy. And I recall he said the mother had been in prison for 25 years. He said that would be reversed. And he also mentioned about the fact that the father, the ICC has arrested the father, but later they will not find any guilt with him. And I recall, it was subsequently, it took about 4 years when I was working at the Ministry of Education that I had an alert, CNN, that Babu freed, why freed. And I said, oh, really interesting. So somebody like me who has experienced it, I have a basis to believe in him. you have a right to describe me anyhow you want to describe me. But I have had an encounter, I have had an experience before. And of course, at our individual and personal levels too, I have a personal relationship with him.
There are people who feel that he's saying this because he has a personal relationship.
With who?
With Kennedy and yourself and some of the team.
Oh, we leave it to time. If that's what they say, we leave it. You see, let me tell you, if there is any other test that has been proven to be most efficient and most consistent, it's a test of time. I think they know themselves, but I don't think they have a relationship with each other. They know themselves that there is one prophet called Prophet Bernard who has prophesied about me.
But it's not one prophet, because if you can pick up a phone and call the person and wish the person happy birthday, the person doesn't become one prophet anymore.
That's what I'm saying, that you see, when you are around a candidate, there are certain things that you need to be very swift and respond to, especially if you know which candidates you are around. And I mean, you know Ken. Ken is a Methodist.
Yeah.
Is of the Methodist faith. Mostly Ken ordinarily, let me tell you, Ken ordinarily is not a person who believes so much in prophecies. Yes. Okay. Ken is not that person.
But this one, he believes in it.
He's really not made any remarks into it. It's as you see, matters of faith, you have to respect people based on their background and how. He's a Methodist person, the normal Orthodox Christian, go to church, sing hymns, end of story, you are done.
Do you know Prophet Kwasi Kwarteng?
Dr. Bawumia's prophet. Yes, I know him.
Is he Dr. Bawumia's prophet?
I think the last election he prophesied about him. And
he prophesied that the NPP will win. Yes. Prophet El Bernard prophesied that the NDC will win. You are an NPP member. Who did you believe?
In the last election.
I think
in the last election.
The last election, Prophet El Bernard prophesied NDC will win. Prophet Victor Kwasi Kwarteng prophesied NPP will win. Who did you believe will win?
I've had an encounter with Prophet El Bernard so many times. And so I have so much confidence in the things that he says.
So you went to elections knowing that you lose?
Even beyond prophecy. Yes, even beyond prophecy. I mean, Ken himself has indicated that we lost the elections somewhere in 2022. And remember, so at least for some of us, because we are in that space, you hear conversations that, hey, National Security Report says you are lacking behind about 10% of Mahama unless you do A, B, C, D. When you are going to elections, mostly you know how the outcome will be, because you listen to people, you look at the mood of the nation. The state of the economy was very bizarre. Of course, it was not a creature of anybody, because the post-events of COVID also really affected us. And the other factors that also even affected us as a party. So it was a difficult election that we were going into. Myself, for instance, I was not confident we were going to win. I knew we're in a very deep problem.
So at that point, you believed that Prophet El Bernard's prophecy was definitely going to come to pass, but not Prophet.
You know what you are doing. I don't want to compare the two prophets. I don't want to. You see, prophecies have characteristics of delaying, coming to pass, and it may even not come into pass. It may even not come to pass or fruition at all. But a lot also depends on you, the candidate. For instance, we can't give you a prophecy and you go and sleep. We are working so hard to make sure that we engage the people. But in the case of Ken's, what has come, and of course, not only Prophet Bernard, we've also had a lot of engagements and extensive engagements with other men of God. We believe that the heart of the king is in the house of the house of the king is in the house of God. And like wherever that runneth, wherever he likes is where he turneth. So God has an interest in the affairs of men. And so it can't be coincident that almost every man of God comes into the public space and say Ken is going to win. And look, this is the caveat. They say with Ken's own, a sovereign is not subject to change. It's sovereign. It's the sovereign will of God.
So it's not subject.
No. So we will continue to work hard. But I don't want you to box me into a situation where I'm comparing prophets.
Box you.
I don't know Prophet Kwasi Kwarteng personally.
Okay.
I've not met him personally. I only see him on TV and social media. I respect him as a man of God. But in terms of having encountered him to experience his anointing or the call on his life, no. So I cannot give a testimony to it. But with the prophet Bernard Nelson, I am so confident that God is using him for a lot of exploits. And it's about time we make a very bold statement that God. I want to.
Go ahead.
God qualifies the called. He doesn't call the qualified. And we will have to make that statement to let Ghanaians know that we do not necessarily have to bond ourselves to a certain template of presidential material where they master and play to a certain script. They come and see you sitting here, they will just start braiding your hair, go to your mother's house, pick the mortar as if they are pounding fufu, get into the gutter as if they are clearing the gutter. Baby kissing. Solomon and Co started it in the Bible. At the end of the day, they become leaders, you don't see anything. But we need to know the person from scratch, who he is. That's why we always say that let Ken be Ken. Let him be who he is. We know that is what we are going for: bold, assertive, fearless, courageous leadership. And somebody or see our day or you. For me, that's what.
Bold, assertive, courageous leadership. Those are the words that have been described on Honorable Kennedy Agyapong by his spokesperson, Kwasi Kwarteng. Kwasi Kwarteng, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are very grateful that you made the time. You had to, put your sleep aside and do this for us. We're grateful.
Oh, it's fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
And thank you. We've had a very good conversation, I must say.
Yes, I'm sure you are going to get a lot of sound bites, and I'm going to get a lot of insults when the sound bites and the videos come.
Nobody insults.
Not from you.
Yeah.
Oh, not from you.
Insults. You don't support you. I mean, you said the right thing, so why would...
Oh, but if it doesn't favor another camp, they will not be happy with you.
Well, we'll leave that to them. But we also have Zoomers that are joining us. So if we have a very first Zoomer, I want to apologize to all our Zoomers that have been waiting for a while. You've been using your data to wait for us. We are so grateful. Thank you so much for doing this. And we know you have a lot to say, but the very first thing that I want you to say is your thankfulness. Tell us why you are grateful to God. What has God done for you? What has God done for Ghana that you are grateful for? So join us and let's have the conversation. As Zoomers, do we have our very first Zoomer? Hello, Nab. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well, by God's grace. I guess you are also doing well.
I'm blessed, Nab.
Well, we thank God. As usual, let me go straight to first wish my nephew, Jerry James Asante, a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jerry James Asante, inside Banana Inn. May God bless and give you wisdom. We pray that you grow and become who God has made you to become. I also want to say a very good morning to Honorable Brighter Sylvie Kumi, who is our incoming first vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party. Let me also say good morning to Commander Prince Obing, who is the Greater Accra regional organizer, and we are still maintaining him for the 2028 general election. Okay, so that said, let me go straight to the point. First of all, I must say that the gentleman sitting in your studio,
Kwasi Kwarteng,
if he knows better, he should just shut up.
Hey,
I'm telling him to shut up.
Nab, hold on. Hold on. No, Nab, hold on. Wait.
He's one of the people who led us to lose this abysmal performance. He's one of them.
Nab,
will I have to continue to respond?
Nab, hold on. Okay, so it looks like Kwasi wants to respond to it, but Nab, and everybody that will join us on Zoom, I'm sorry, but we have to exercise some decorum. Even if you want to tell the person or you don't agree with the person's opinions, please address it in a better way. Let's take emotions. Now, please hold on. Please hold on for me, please. So even if you have any, emotions, please suppress your emotions right now. This is national television. Use the right words. Have some decorum, because everybody is respected. Once he's here, he's respected. Once you're on Zoom, you are respected. Please, let's not have a clash. Let's not have a banter. Let's have a very good conversation, okay? Kwasi, don't worry at all. We'll come back to you. So we have Nalika joining us. Good morning, Nalika.
When he was given a position, right?
Yes.
Nalika, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Great. All right, talk to us.
Yes, I want to say good morning to your good self, and then Mr. Kwasi Kwarteng for making it to your studio this morning. I'm very happy. He's one of my mentors. I'm not an NPP, but I love his communication. I'm not happy with what the first caller is just saying. I think Kwarteng has been one of the most decent NPP communicator in these our media houses. From TV3 to your studio, I think everywhere he has been one of the most respectful communicator for the NPP. So for my good brother to come out and use such words, I think he should apologize to him. Maybe he doesn't know him very well. He has been one of the best, not just the best, one of the best. He himself and an hour, I admire them a lot. And for him making his choice to support Honorable Ken Agyapong is his choice. And he's part of the NPP. Bawumia is an NPP member. Honorable Ken is also an NPP member. In fact, the point I even want to make, the first caller has, I don't know, but I think we need to be very, very careful the choice of words that we do.
That's
Left to Mr. Kwarteng alone, he has been. No, I want to say this because he has been one of the communicators I admired a lot, and I want to make it on record that I am not NPP or NDC. I'm just ordinary Ghanaian, and then we respect those who come on air and then try to put in their submission. We are learning from them.
Right.
We are learning from them.
Nalika, thank you so much. Thank you.
I want to make my.
Please make your point in a minute because we have to go. I have so many Zoomers waiting.
Yes, I think I love Honorable Ken. He's one of the most braved Ghanaians that we have. I will support him. I pray with them. God, I'm not a delegate, but I wish him all the best. I wish he can win to join John Mahama to make sure that those corrupt politicians will be brought to book. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. Okay. So who do we have next? All right. So we'll be picking our next Zuma. Yes. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Bismarck.
Hi, Bismarck. Yes, Bismarck.
Yes.
What are you grateful for, though? Before you say anything, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for the fact that we all have life this morning. Yesterday, we saw in the media that Diego Jota of Portugal and Liverpool is gone.
Yeah.
So we are alive. So it just gives glory.
Amen. All right. Please go ahead and make your point now.
So my point is that I want to commend our senior people there, Kwasi Kwarteng, for the good job he's doing for, not only for Ken, but also for our party. Well, I support Agyapong's candidature, but it is not because of that I am commenting our brother there for the work he's doing. Because if you look at how he's communicating, he's not entirely condemning our candidate. And that's what we need. Because at the end of the day, whoever wins as our flag bearer, we have to support him. So if you realize, I think yesterday I listened to him in Kamali Radio, and he said that, look, the fact that our MPs reduced from 169 to 137 and now to 188 is not entirely our presidential candidate, our former president, that's GMB fault. But other factors point to that. This means that he is not against Dr. Bawumia's candidature. Neither am I against him. But we are all making a choice as a democratic country. So I want to thank him and I want to encourage him to keep it up. Let's do decent politics. And I want to encourage GMB supporters. You want my support, like I also want your support. So whoever wins, let's come together and support the person. We shouldn't come to a public and print our sentiments, even if I don't like you. I shouldn't come to the media space to insult or attack you. It's not
all right, Bismarck.
Democracy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bismarck, for joining us. Good morning, Fake Up. Hello, Fake Up.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you today?
I'm doing good. And you?
I'm fine. What are you grateful for, Fake Up?
I'm grateful that all of us, we are alive today, and then we have to share our opinions on national matters.
Great.
It is always good to wake up and then see your colleagues around.
Yeah.
And we hope that that will continue, so that at the end of the day, we will all fulfill our dream before we leave this world.
Amen. All right, please go ahead and make your points, Jacob.
Thank you. The development in NPP, like I said last time, that it's interesting to follow. And looking at the happenings, we are watching Kennedy as Ghanaians, and we use them well in the first place. But we are also concerned about certain things that are going on within the party at this moment, especially during this campaign period, where candidates want to use all means to get whatever they want. I think that decent politics should be the hallmark of the internal politics. If not, at the end of the day, whatever you use against your opponent in arriving at the point you want to be, will still be used against you when you are not presented to the whole nation to decide between you. So your character, your speech, how you address your colleagues, the same will also address you as Ghanaians. And that will be the kind of a picture we'll be having in our head towards you or your candidate. So I think that I want to encourage the team's members, like we have one of the spokespersons for Agyapong this morning, that they should do the same politics. Religious and like tribal politics should be taken out of the scene. So they want to see seriousness in them. So if we consider NPP in the next election, it will depend on their seriousness now. So if they are not serious at this point, I don't know when they will be serious, because there are a lot of national issues that need to be discussed, and the opposition is supposed to lead that charge to let citizens know and know where and when to criticize this government. But it appears to us that the opposition and the government in waiting are in disarray and they are not together. So we wish them well, and we wish that that should settle and they will come back together, and then
all right,
let's all have a peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Good morning, Amwabimovic. I always struggle to mention your name. Good morning.
Good morning, Rosalind.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm blessed. So what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for life and grateful that Ghana is progressing. We are not retrogressing.
All right. Okay, please go ahead and make your point now.
Oh, okay. As for me, Honorable Agyapong has been my mentor for a very long time. He is very, very outspoken. He always tells the truth, no matter who as the God is. I really like that of him. But at times, he should tone it down with the insults. I know at times certain things do hurt that if you don't control yourself, maybe you slap someone. And so that's what. Secondly, I think this time around, when voting for a flag bearer, you have to vote for someone like look at Kennedy, a man of his caliber, having factories, taking care, employed over 1,000, 2,000 people. Such person can rule Ghana. But you go and vote for someone who can't even take care of the themselves and what you call house boys and gardeners. How can he rule us? How can he be a leader? Look at JDM. JDM, for instance, have got a lot of farms in the central region, northern region. So he has that kind of empathy for people. So I think Kennedy, as for me, I'm a real NDC. By Kennedy, I took my hands up for
So
him.
will you vote for the
Seriously.
NPP if Kennedy is make the flag bearer?
If Kennedy is making the flag bearer, I'll wait for who will be coming for the NDC. Then I'll compare both of them.
All right,
I'm for
Amwabi.
Ghana.
All right,
I'm for
Amwabi.
Ghana.
Thank you so much.
I'm born in Ghana. I'm not an NDC. My passport is a Ghanaian passport. It's not an NDC passport or an NPP passport.
All right, Amwabi. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good one. All right, so it's quite interesting, I must say. There are so many people who are rallying behind Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. You've joined us with Infinix phone. Your name is not there. Good morning. Good morning, Infinix. Hello, good morning. All right, Mafu, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, Mafu.
Yeah,
How are you? How are you, Mafu?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, my name is Zachary.
Okay, Zachary. Okay, I think you're the one with the infinite phone, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Great. Okay, please go ahead and make that. Yes, but before you make your point, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for life this morning and the progress Ghana is making so far. So, like I said, my name is Zachary.
Zachary, we can't see your face, though. We can't see your face. Can you move to a place where we can see your face better?
Yeah, please, is it okay now?
Okay, yes.
Hello?
Yes, this is much better. We'll take this like that.
Okay.
Although we still can't see it too well, but we'll take it like that. Better than the other.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Please go ahead and make it.
Like I was saying, the gentleman in your studio is someone I admire so much. So Ghana politics should go beyond what we have just experienced from the first Zuma. To be frank, I'm not an NPP member, but I have been following this gentleman who speaks for Ken for quite some time now in terms of his contribution to national development, and the side of communication is what Ghana should be championing for. But if you follow his opponents and the way they are acting towards things, it's not everything that we should comment, but they think criticizing everything is what opposition should do, but that shouldn't be the case. So I will just urge my senior man, Mr. Kwarteng, to not to be disturbed by the distractors and keep on pressing for what he needs. And at the end of it all, success will be in their side. Though I'm not a NPP member, but I'm just encouraging him to keep on.
All right.
He will achieve what he wants.
Thank you so
Mr.
much. Thank you so much for joining us. We are grateful. Good morning, Master Planner. Yes, Master Planner. Yes,
good morning.
How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
What are you grateful for, Master Planner?
Alhamdulillah, I'm grateful for life. And today is one of the most important days in Islam. Today is Friday.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm very, very happy for life and for this wonderful day.
That's great. Please make your point.
Thank you. Let me say good morning to you and then your production team, and then also to my senior man, Kwasi Kwarteng. I think he's doing a fantastic job. But let me say, you are not fair to my brother, Nana Kwasi. You should have allowed him to continue. Perhaps he might retract his words.
Okay, so Master Planner, I understand where you're coming from, but this is national TV, and it looks like he was boiling a bit. So sometimes we want them to cool down, and then when they join us, because at that time when I was telling him to hold on, he was still, sometimes tempers take over, and so he was a bit emotional, which we understand. It's human nature.
Let me use my brother as an example. There was a time he met Lawyer Jantua on one of the stations. When he was about to talk, Jantua was about to come in and he said, shut up, Jantua, can you shut up to me? You asked him whether he did that.
I didn't use shut up. I said, you the Jantua.
Yes, I even posted that video on my Facebook wall. You can go and check Master Planner Julia. It's one of the videos that gave me so much view. He made Jantua to shut up, and he really made his point. That's how politics is. You can be angry,
but you see, he can do that because maybe he's on a different platform. If only he
actually didn't use the word shut up.
He didn't use the word shut up. He said you. You said oh.
I said you, Nana Jantua. You again, Nana Jantua. That was.
You said you didn't use shut up.
You said shut up.
Whichever master planner, we understand, but whichever it is, for now, we'll say that this is Joy Prime, and there are certain words. There are certain words that we might not condone. Okay.
Yeah, let me make my point.
Please go ahead. Yes.
That's just by the way. Yes. He's my friend, and I follow him a lot. He's one of the finest communicators we have in the party. Although we are all NPP, we cannot support one candidate. I'm fully supporting Bawumia. He is also supporting Kennedy. I always say this: if you are a leader, one of the things that will make you successful or make you fail are your followers, especially those who speak for you. When you are on national TV or radio and you are campaigning for a candidate, just tell us what the candidate is capable of doing. Don't attack the opponent, because the opponent is a likely flag bearer. So if you attack the candidate and he wins, how are you going to join the campaign? To campaign for that candidate. I support Bawumia, but I will never go and tell somebody to vote for Bawumia because Kennedy is somebody who acts quickly or somebody who get anger issue. I will tell you. If I'm supporting Kennedy, I will tell you, Kennedy is a bold person. He doesn't entertain corruption. Those are his marks that kind you can stand on to campaign. Bawumia is a very calm person. Dr. Bawumia, he has so many policies that he has helped the NPP to achieve this success. Then you campaign nicely. If Kennedy wins, I can easily join the national campaign to campaign for NPP. If Dr. Bawumia wins, I can join Dr. Bawumia to campaign for NPP.
All right, Master Planner.
That is how we should go. So I'm begging all NPP, both Kennedy, Brian Agyapong, his communicators are doing well so far. They don't attack anyone. They tell us what Brian Agyapong is going to. Last 3 days, I heard Pius, Honorable Pius. He communicated very well without insults. Let's emulate this style of communication and then build the party together. Without Kennedy, 2028, you can't win. Without Bawumia, 2028, we can't win. We have to all come together and win power from NDC. Look at what is going on in NDC.
All right, Master Planner.
Taxes upon taxes, but we can't communicate. Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us. You've spoken for a while, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, Mafo. Hello, Mafo. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Mafo?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. What are you grateful for?
Oh, I'm grateful that my employers gave me some time to take off my leave. So I'm currently in the house in Kwasi, enjoying myself. So I'm grateful for that.
That's good. I'm happy. Sometimes they say if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Anyway, please go ahead and make your point.
Okay, so for me, I'm not a political party person, but the most important thing for me is that whoever comes, Ghana should be able to sleep and wake up. We should be able to go to our workplaces in peace, that we are not beaten, and the economy should also be booming. That all of us, whatever businesses we are doing, we should be able to thrive in it. And then again, someone like Kennedy, he's outspoken, and he has a lot of qualities in him, just like the other candidates. So for me, I wish him well. And there's one thing that, worries me a lot about some of our leaders. When they are outside, they speak well, and we know that, hey, this guy, he can speak against corruption, he can do this. Someone like Addo, even Rishapo, he couldn't do. So we are telling them that whatever you see them they are, when they are outside, when they get into power, they should let us know that they are the same people that they are able to speak against crime, they are able to speak against corruption, they are able to speak against their members who are doing the wrong things. We don't want cover up. We don't want claim agents. When it is wrong, it is wrong. And this is the same thing I expect from Ken when it comes to power. So I wish all of them well, and Ghana will continue to be great. Thank you to you and your team.
Marfo, thank you so much for joining us. Not you hitting those low punches just like that. Boof, boof, boof. That's Marfo for you. Anyway, we unfortunately can't pick any more Zoomers. I hear we have so many of you waiting. More than 20 people are still online waiting to join us. But unfortunately, time won't permit us. Hopefully next week, we'll be able to pick as many people as possible. So forgive us for not being able to pick you. But I want to say a very big thank you to Kwasi Kwarteng, who was here to represent Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, and the campaign is ongoing, strong and powerful, right? Yeah. I mean, how do you do it though? You know, being thrown with punches just like that. Probably for me, I would be crying.
I know that most of them, they don't mean what they are saying. It's not coming from like a place of genuinity. It's just because you don't support their candidate. Because I noticed that when most times I hate the NDC, they all come and praise me. But as soon as it comes internal, then they are all hating against you. And sometimes I make general comments and even the NDC comes and praise me. Then I got to know that these comments, you don't really have to attach any emotions to it. So most of them I don't read. I mean, but people send to me, there's somebody that's going to say this. There are instances of threat. Recently, Prince Guma even threatened that I shouldn't step foot in the northern region. I didn't forget that I was there to speak. So most of that, I don't attach emotions to it. I just see it as my view, something that I strongly believe in. I bring it out. I make sure that I say it politely, and most importantly, your body posture also counts. I say it politely, but very strongly and firmly, and leave it out there.
All right, Kwasi, thank you so much for joining us. Anything you want to say before you go?
Yes, most importantly is the unity of the party. Because after competition, there have to be collaboration before we have to win. So in as much as we may want to project our candidates, it has to be done within the high plane of civility and mutual respect to all parties. And that, I feel strongly that we have to remind ourselves, whichever way, no matter the phase that we are in, we shall overcome. And I'm very confident that 2028 can win us power.
Okay. All right, so if you're also confident in 2028 can win in power, then you know what to do if you belong to the NPP and you can vote for the NPP. Go ahead and vote for who you believe will win you power in 2028. That's all time will permit us for this segment, which is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still and still, phone papa perfect. I always say that whatever gadget you're looking for, whether mobile phones, television set, CCTV cameras, I say look no further. Now, Franco Trading app has made things very simple for you. You can actually be in the comfort of your home or your offices. Download the app, which is Franco Trading app, and purchase any item of your choice. Trust us to deliver it to you at your doorstep. For further inquiries, visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still, phone papa fee. Of course, Agradaa has been sentenced to 50 years in prison. You heard about it. What do you think, though?
Well, you see, the Constitution is very clear that any person that has to be punished, certainly the offense has to be stated in written language and the penalty prescribed to it accordingly. And obviously, they went through a certain judicial process. If you are a family member or a friend of Agradaa, it won't be nice. It won't be a good news for you. But if we had gone through the process, due process, and the law had made a determination, I mean, you leave it out there. I have read comments that the punishment is so harsh, but those lawyers also have to make reference to the fact that to the offense that were charged and the penalty or punishment that is prescribed to it in law. If the judge acted within the framework of the punishment that is prescribed to those offenses, I'm not sure there is so much of a big deal. state institutions should work. And unfortunately, she just happened to find herself in that. As for now, we can, because the court has made a determination, me outside of the state institution. Of course, if she is not happy, she has recourse to appeals and other things to be able to reverse the decision. But it looks tough.
It looks tough, eh?
It looks tough, yeah.
If they appeal, it still looks tough.
I mean, you see, the trial process has been ongoing for
since 2022.
Yes, that's about 3 years now. Yeah. And I'm sure the prosecution has taken their time to do a very thorough work to be able to get this judgment. And even beyond what goes on in court, me and you, objectively, we have our own reservations of how Agradaa has conducted herself in the past and now. We had not sit here to run a public persecution on her personality.
Yeah.
But reasonably, we feel something doesn't add up in how she goes about her things, the Sikagari.
So this could also affect the decision of the court, right?
The point is that the judges are human beings.
Okay.
They take notice of what is going on.
Okay.
They are aware of what is going on. And if, for instance, the law gives a range of, let's say, 5 to 10 years for an offense, and I'm looking at the extent of the offense, the magnitude of the offense, the person involved,
how you conduct yourself.
The judge, if the judge has the prerogative to give you between any of the ranges.
Wow.
So
at this point, if you have a case in court, conduct yourself well because the judges are watching.
Yes. The point is that they are human beings, and every human being may have a persuasive influence on the things going on around him. Right. For instance, you go to a judge, you appear before a judge who might have been raped before on a rape charge. Certainly, her biasness may find expression in her judgment, right, even though it will still be suited within the law. Mm-hmm. If she has to give you 15 years and it's between 15 and 25, she has been raped before. She's 25. She's coming from that angle.
Wow. Anyway, Kwasi Kwarteng, thank you so much.